feeling so small. Watch the clock ticking off the wall. But tonight I'm letting it go. Spend my coin for sure. I'm gonna be myself, or I could be someone else. No one's stopping me now.
Hi guys, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. If you're my previous subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, we're going to be focusing on the 2022 Senate results and what I see in the tarot cards for each specific race. Now this video is timestamped to the specific races that you might want to look at, but I recommend you watch the entire video, but that is entirely up to you. I'll be filming a couple more videos. I timed out. It was almost 2 a.m. And then all of a sudden, the time changed back to 1 a.m. again. And then I was like, oh, wait, today's November 6th. Is, what do you call it? The time change, whatever it's called, daylight saving time. We just had our very last time that we're going to have daylight saving because they passed a law back in March of this year, saying that once we go forward in the spring, that will be our standard time. We will never have to go backwards again until they decide to reverse that. But other than that, yeah. So this video can be real interesting. As you look on your screen right now, if you guys have not already, go to my YouTube channel, scroll down, make sure you hit notifications on, hit notify me, hit notifications on, so you get notified when I will go live for the live watch party for the midterm. So if you guys are interested in joining, definitely please show. We're going to be having MSNBC in the background, so we will have Steve Kornacki be talking, and we'll be also having some special guests as well. So if you want to come join us, definitely come join us. We're going to be going live at 7 p.m. and hopefully we're going to be alive for quite a while, probably about to like 10 or 11 at night. So yeah, so make sure you have some dinner ready, popcorn, or whatever you want to do, just so you can be able to sit through. Feel free to engage in the live chat. I'd be happy to have all of you guys there. So for this video specifically, I'm using the light model here. The deluxe model is really what it's supposed to be looking at, where it has the Republicans ahead by 538, and they put 55 to 45% chance for the Democrats to lose control of the Senate. However, if you go to the light version here, they have the Democrats at 53 to 47 for the Republican. That is the light with what the polls look like based on the polls alone. But what we're going to do in this video is we are going to take the results. We're going to go state by state, and we're going to ask the cards just based on the candidates and the energy and the movement and see what's going on in each race. Then after that, what we're going to do is we are going to, classify the race at the end and see what the total amount is. And if you guys have not been following my midterm video or my midterm YouTube videos where I kind of take the data from the Uno cards and my actual homemade tarot deck to get the result, what we're going to do is we're going to take the data from this specific video and average it out with the data that I will get when I do that video either tonight or tomorrow. And that will be the final result. So we'll be making a video. So the next video will be the November 2022 midterm tarot card reading. Then I'm going to actually combine this data with the House election data and combine them, and we'll make my final prediction video right before the midterm. So definitely stay tuned for that as well. All right, let's start, shall we? Got a lot to get through. So this video is being recorded on November 6, 2022 at 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And here's a quick announcement on your screen right now. Feel free to read them on your own time. This is all disclaimers. This is for entertainment purposes only and for education purposes only as well. I cannot say who is and who is not going to win definitively, as the voters have the right to say what they're going to say. And also keep in mind that we do have a lunar eclipse, which also means that these voters may not have their intentions or minds made up until the day they decide to make that vote. So, and people are still voting, so the result is not going to be 100% accurate. We want to make sure I made that clear. Okay, so the first state up is Washington. We're going to do Washington. Let's do the state of Washington. So we're going to do this a little bit differently than I normally would, but we're going to kind of do however I feel intuitively. All right. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of take a look at the state of Washington. So I'm going to put that back up on your screen here. If you don't know, it's in the top left corner here. You can kind of see right here where the little arrow is. So in the state of Washington right now, we have the state between Patty Murphy, the Democrat, and versus Tiffany Smile, the Republican. I don't know if you guys ask me, the last name Smile kind of reminds me of a type of drug, but yeah. So we are going to remove the screen. So Spirits Angel, tell me about the representative, excuse me, Spirits Angel, tell me about the Democrats versus the Republicans in the House of Representatives. Oh my God, I gotta cut this video out. Okay, anyway, so Spirits Angel, tell me about the U.S. Senate result for the Washington. The Democrat versus the Republican, who will win the Senate seat based on the tower price. Now, if it's like a yellow or a green, it means toss up. Okay, so we have a Republican ahead. So in the first lead-in, it's gonna show Republican lead by 1. Then it's gonna go to toss up, right? Then the Republicans end up losing. So I'm gonna say the state of Washington is gonna go Democrat, but it's gonna go Democrat by a pretty good margin. It's gonna look like if the Republicans are gonna have a mirage, but it's gonna go Democratic at the end. So I'm gonna say plus Dem. Okay, what just happened here? Oh, right. Whew. All right, so Spirits Angel, tell me we're going to now do the state of Nevada. So the state of Nevada, I gotta get rid of this. In the state of Nevada, we got Catherine Cortez Masto, the Democrat, versus Adam Paul Lacta. It sounds like a type of salt, like a poisonous salt. Okay, anyway, we're going to do the state of Nevada right now. So you guys can't even see it on the screen. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so if you go here, these are the two candidates right now. We have Adam versus Catherine Cortez. She is the incumbent, and the Republican is challenging her for her seat in the Senate. So Spirits Angel, tell me in the state of Nevada, who is more likely to win the state of Nevada for the U.S. Senate? Is it going to be the Democrats or the Republicans? Show me a blue card for Democrats and show me a red card for Republican. And yeah, so we'll see. Now it is a toss-up, so chances are it might not even give a result. Yellow or green means toss-up. Okay, so we have the Republican. Yeah, it's a Republican. I see a Republican flip. Yeah, it's a flip for the Republican. I'm going to say Nevada's going to go Republican. Yeah, okay. So, Cortez Masto looks like she's going to lose. Okay, we're going to do the state of Arizona. We have Mark Kelly. Let me take a look here. Just pull it up on the screen. We have Mark Kelly versus Blake Masters. We have Mark Kelly, the Democrat, the incumbent. He's being challenged by Blake Masters, the Republican. So we are going to see who's going to win. I hope it's Mark Kelly, personally speaking, but let's see what the cards have to say. So, Spirits Angel, tell me about the state of Arizona for the U.S. Senate. For the state of Arizona, who is going to come out as the victor? Is it going to be the Democrats or the Republican candidate? Red means Republican, blue means Democrat, yellow or green means toss-up. Okay. Okay, so we have Democrat down, Republican down, Republican up, Democrat down. Okay, so we have everybody's reversed except 1, which is the Republican, which is the 5 here. So I'm going to ask for a final 1 card, Spirits Angel. Out of all the results from the cards that you gave me, show me 1 card, whether it's reversed or not reversed. Who is the victor in the state of Arizona for the U.S. Senate? I heard Mark Kelly, but let's see. Okay, so I saw green. Okay, so we have Mark Kelly. Yeah, so Mark Kelly's going to win the state of Arizona. He's going to keep his seat. So it's going to be tossed up. So it's going to go Republican, toss up, Democrat. That's how it's going to go in terms of pattern. So don't get disenfranchised when you see the result tick. Okay? The next state here, we have the state of Iowa. It considers safe, but I have some states on here that I feel like intuitively it's going to be more competitive than initially anticipated. So the state of Iowa, we have Chuck Grassley versus Michael Franken, the Democrat. Chuck Grassley has been in the U.S. Senate since the 80s, so he had never had a challenge to the Senate. He'd never been challenged to his Senate seat. However, his age is getting to the point where the people, the voters in the state of Iowa, do not want someone who's really old representing the state, someone whose views are outdated. So we're going to take a look and see the state of Iowa. Will they end up going Democrat, really? They haven't gone Democrat in the U.S. Senate for his seat since the 80s. So if they do this, it's going to be a good night for the Democrats. The Spirit Angels tell me in the state of Iowa, we have the Democrats versus the Republicans for the U.S. Senate in the state of Iowa. In the end, who is going to end up as victor in the U.S. Senate for Iowa, in the state of Iowa? Okay, so we have a tight. It's going to be tight. Okay, so this is going to be a sleeper state. Now, if you guys don't know what a sleeper state is, a sleeper state is where it's unexpected. The news media or the Associated Press doesn't necessarily associate it with. They're going to be surprised when they find out that it's more competitive compared to what the polling showed. For example, 2016 versus Donald Trump versus Hillary Clinton, they expected Hillary to win. It was an upset. This might be an upset, but regardless, it's going to be a very competitive race. What my intuition is telling me it's going to be competitive. It's soon to be showing up in the cards. So in the end, in the state of Iowa, who's going to end up winning the state of Iowa when it's all said and done? Who's going to end up the victor, the Democrats or the Republicans? Show me one card. I just saw blue, but it does not matter if it's upright or reverse. Just show me a card. Yellow or green means toss-up. Who's going to end up at the victory in the state of Iowa for the U.S. Senate? Okay, so... All right, let me just brighten up the screen for me. So the problem is we have Republican, toss-up, Democrat. Now, we have a 7 for the Republican. We have a 1 for the toss-up. And then we have a 9 for the Democrat. Now, all of us know 9 is bigger than a 1 and a 7. Right? What tells me here that the Democrats actually have a pretty good shot at taking the state of Iowa. So what I am going to do is I'm going to act one more card, take one more card, and that was what we're going to do. What we're going to do is we're going to lean the state of Iowa or tilt it. What tilt means like very, very small margin, and it looks like it might be 1. But there's no guarantee could it get easily flip back. And that's what we're going to do here. So we are going to act the cards right now, one color, and see. So we're going to tell me the state of Iowa, who is going to have a better chance at winning the seat in the state of Iowa for the U.S. Senate. Democrat or Republican? Show me blue or red. Blue for the Democrat, red for the Republican. Okay, so we have blue. Yeah, so we're gonna tilt Iowa blue, not by big margin. This Democrat tilt, which means that it can't go Republican. Okay, just want to make sure that is clear. And I'm just saying that it's the toss-up. Doesn't mean it's gonna, the Republican's gonna outright lose. It's saying that Democrats actually have a good shot at taking the state of Iowa compared to what people have initially thought. Okay. The state of Missouri, I have felt that this was going to be one of those states, another sleeper state that really is not expected, not on the radar of the Associated Press. So we're going to take a look at here. We're going to have Eric Schmidt versus Trudy Valentine, the Democrat. We're going to see how they're going to play out. Right, we have 53.5% to 44.2% for the Republicans, for the Democrats, excuse me. So we are going to see in the state of Missouri Are they going to choose Republican or Democrat? I think it's going to be really interesting to see who they're going to pick. Okay, so Spears Angel, tell me in the state of Missouri. We have the Democrats versus the Republicans in the 2022 Senate results. Who's going to end up at the victory for the Missouri Senate race? Democrat or Republican? Blue for Democrat, red for Republican, green or yellow for toss-up. Okay, blue. We're going to have... Oh, wait, hold on. It's not blue just yet. Because they're both reversed. We have 4 reverse, and we have 8 reverse. Who's going to end up as the victor in the U.S. Senate results or seat? Who's going to end up winning a Senate seat in the state of Missouri? Republican or Democrat? Red for Republican, blue for Democrat. Reverse means lose. Upright means win, unless otherwise stated. Okay. We also have the Republicans lose. Okay. But that's final on show me the energy, red or blue, for the Missouri Senate seat. Okay, blue. So it looks like Missouri actually is competitive compared to what they're really expecting. So I definitely see Missouri being more competitive. That's probably why I added it, because like I said, Missouri is one of those sleeper states that I feel like might actually have a shot for the Democrats to win. So not saying that the Democrats are going to win. They're likely to lose the seat just because of historical trends. But it does feel like I'm going to add this in the top margin, which means that they can win this seat. But these will be upsets. These wouldn't be an outright victory where we're going to say, well, they're almost guaranteed to win. It's more like these are upsets. Not like it's going to be like, a surprise or some sort. It's going to be a surprise, but it's not to be expected, just so you know. So don't expect those states to go to the Democrats. It just feels like they're going to have a very good night. If they are seen winning those states, that means the Democrats are doing tremendously well on election night. So those are the states you definitely watch and see. If it's really competitive, that means the Democrats are doing very well nationwide. If it's very non-competitive, that means the Democrats are doing poorly nationwide. So it's kind of like more of a gauge to kind of see where the country's going in terms of voting pattern. Okay, we're going to do the state of Wisconsin. Okay, in the state of Wisconsin here, we have Ron Johnson, the Republican incumbent, versus Mandela Barnes, the Democrat. So we are going to take a quick look and see who's going to win the state of Wisconsin Senate seat. So Spears Angel, tell me we have Democrat blue, Republican red, green or yellow toss-up. Who's going to end up winning the state of Wisconsin for the U.S. Senate? Show me where the energy is leaning. Blue upright means win. Reverse means loss for the Democrats. Red upright means win for the Republicans. Reverse red means loss for the Republicans unless otherwise stated. Okay? Final results, red or blue? I'm going to stay here. Okay. So we have 0 for the Democrats and 4. So they're both reversed. Well, this one's not reversed because it's a 0. You can't reverse a 0. But we do have a 4 reverse. And then we have a 4 upright, 4 plus. But it's a wild card. Which basically tells me already that Wisconsin is a toss-up. It can go to the Democrats or the Republicans. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the state of Wisconsin toss-up, but leans Republican, so it tilts Republican. Which means that Republicans have a higher chance of winning, but not by much. So, for example, tilt Bailey, that technically means 51% to 49%. So it's not that big of a margin, but big enough to actually win over the majority. So that's what tilt means. So Wisconsin, I see a Republican victory, just very narrowly. But in the end, it's a toss-up. It's a straight-up toss-up, but it leans Republican narrowly. Just want to make sure that is stated and understood. Do not twist my words. Okay, so the state of Illinois. Illinois is a safe state, but I kept feeling that it is not. It is a competitive one. So that means the Democrat, the incumbent in the Senate seat in the state of Illinois, is going to have a competitive race, a sleeper state. Okay, let me pull up on your screen right here. Okay, so the state of Illinois, we have Kathy Salvi versus Tammy Duckworth. Tammy Duckworth is the incumbent Democrat in the Senate seat. Let's see who is projected to win the state of Illinois. Okay, so Spears Angel Tommy in the state of Illinois versus the Democrat versus the Republican. We have the Democrats that blue card and Republicans the red. We have green and yellow representing toss-up. If the Democrats are upright, they win the seat of Illinois. If it's reversed, they lose the seat. If it's upright for the Republican, they win the seat. And if it's reversed, they lose the seat. Spirit Angel, tell me who's going to be at all energy over. What is the energetic direction of the Senate seat in the state of Illinois? Who's going to end up as victor in the Senate seat in Illinois? Republican or Democrat? Okay, they told me to flip the deck. Who's going to end up what party is going to end up as the victor after all the results are counted and are completed? In the state of Illinois, will we have a Republican or a Democrat senator coming from the state of Illinois? Who's going to win? Okay, so they're telling me the Democrats are going to win, but narrowly. That's what I'm hearing. It's going to be a lean margin, which is about like 4% normally, but not that big of a margin. But or like 4 to 2%. But they're still going to win outright. That's what I'm hearing from my right ear. But let's see what the cards have to say as well. Okay, yeah. So it's like I said, it's going to be 2 to 4. Yeah. So it tells me here it's going to be 2 to 4. I'm going to say right here, Illinois is going to be very competitive, but nonetheless, it's going to go with Democrats. So Democrats are going to hold. But very close. It's going to be close. So it's competitive. Okay. In the state of Georgia, we all know who this is. We have Raphael Warnock versus Herschel Walker. Right, we have the Raphael Warnock, the Democrat who won back in 2021, virtually giving the Democrat a majority in the U.S. Senate. The question is, will he maintain that, or will he be the deciding state? Now, here's the thing. The thing about the state of Georgia is that if no candidate reaches 50% in order to win, they go right into runoff. So if we don't get a result and if both cards are reversed, that means runoff. Just want to make sure that is clear. Okay, so Spears Angel Tommy in the state of Georgia. For the state of Georgia, we have the Democrat versus the Republican. We have the Democrat is represented in the color blue. We have the Republican represented in the color red. We have green and yellow represented as tossed up. If the cards are upright, that means either party is the victor. And if it's reversed, that means the Democrats and the Republicans are going to run off, Spirit. So in the state of Georgia, who's going to end up as victor in the U.S. Senate in Georgia when all the votes are finished counted and the victory has been decided? Even if it's not on election day, maybe in the runoff, what party will hold the U.S. Senate in Georgia? Who is going to hold the seat in Georgia for the U.S. Senate? Who's going to win, Republican or Democrat? Okay, so we have reverse 2, and we have a reverse 7. They're going to run off. I'm going to say Georgia is going to run off. Yep. So Georgia is going to be a runoff state. So we're not going to have a victor. But we're going to ask, now that we know that the state of Georgia is going to run off, we're now going to ask who is going to be the victor in the state of Georgia, the Democrat or Republican. So Spirit saying, so now that we have established that Georgia is going to go into a runoff between the Democrat and the Republican candidate, who is going to end up as the victor in the U.S. Senate in the state of Georgia? Who's going to win the Senate seat in Georgia? Okay, there's too many cards. Who's going to end up winning the Senate seat in the state of Georgia? Okay, hold on. So many cards. Okay, so we have Republican. I'm going to say Herschel Walker is going to win the state of Georgia. It looks like Raphael Warnock is going to lose. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Well, if it runs into runoff, we can read on that. So it's not like it's predetermined. Just like if the NSC holds, and as of now, it's Republican. But that could change because remember the voters have not voted for that election. Nobody cast their ballots. No one even thought about a runoff. It hasn't even happened. It hasn't even occurred in our reality. So to keep that in mind does not mean the state is going to be Republican. As of now, it's going to be for data purposes. Okay, so the state of Florida. Let's look at Florida. Let's look at Florida. Okay, so we have the state of Florida with Marco Rubio, the incumbent, versus Val Deming, the Democrat. Who is going to win the state of Florida? We're going to find out right now. It is a likely state. They're saying that they're projecting a Marco Rubio victory. I believe he might win just because I accidentally wrote down Marco Rubio instead of in the state of Florida here. I wrote down Marco Rubio, but not realizing that I didn't write down the state of Florida. So I have a feeling that he's going to win, but we're going to ask the cards. So Spirit Angel, tell me in the state of Florida versus the Democrat versus the Republican Party, who's going to win the U.S. Senate seat in the state of Florida? The Democrats are represented in the color blue. We have the Republicans represented in the color red. We have yellow and green represented as tossed up. In the state of Florida, who's going to win the state of Florida? The Democrat or the Republican? Okay, tell me to flip it. Thank you. Too many cards, but it's a yellow. It's a blue first, so we get another blue confirmation. Val Deming's going to flip the seat. Okay, so Spirit Angel, tell me who's going to win the state of Florida Senate seat in the U.S. Senate? Who's going to win the Senate seat in Florida? Democrat or Republican? So we have Republican now. So let me just double check. Final decision, Democrat or Republican, who's going to win the state of Florida U.S. Senate seat? It could be a toss-up, which is why we get 2 victories. One, 2, 3. Okay, so now that we don't have an answer, we're going to pick the card from the top and bottom. So top card is Democrat, bottom is Republican. Whoever has the highest number is the victor. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Look at this. The Republican, the Democrat. Now, remember what, like I said, the colors, even though they are represented, Democrats are blue and Republicans are red, but I did put the left side here for the Democrats and the right side for the Republicans, and they obviously have the opposite color with the same exact number. So what I'm going to say in the state of Georgia is so competitive, it's undecided at this point who's going to win the state of Florida. But let's just take one more look. It's probably a toss-up. I want to put it as toss-up, but let's just find out what way it leans, what political party does it lean. In the state of Florida Senate seat, but versus the Democrat versus the Republicans, who is leading in the state of Florida for the U.S. Senate seat in Florida? Right? Not an outright victory, but who's most likely to win as of now? I feel like it might be because there's going to be more people voting. It's going to change the result of the election, which is why the cards cannot tell me who is more likely to win just based on energy, because the energy is matched in the state of Florida. Okay. We have +4, and we have the Democrat reverse. So it's going to tell me here that both of them are reversed, actually. Both are reversed, but nonetheless, it is telling me that it is a toss-up, but it leans Democrat. So I am going to say it leaned Democrat narrowly by like 300 votes, 3,000 votes, really. I've seen 30,000, really. So if anything, if Val Deming wins by a very narrow margin, she's going to win by 30,000 votes, if even. So it has to involve a 3 in some way or some form, at least at the first digit, either 300, 3,000, or 30,000 votes. But I do see it's going to be very close and tight. But, those margins are going to really be the deciding factor here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put in the state of Florida. It's going to be tossed up, but tilts Democrat, really. So we're projecting a Democrat victory, but it's not an outright victory because it can go either way, right? But as of all, if everything will go in the same direction, nothing major happened, it's going Democrat as of right now. Not saying it's going to be outright victory because the Republicans can still win. It's saying that it's tilt, but very lean margin can flip back, right? So the state of North Carolina, let's look at the state of North Carolina. So with the state of North Carolina here, we have Ted Bud versus Chevy Beasley, the Democrat. We're going to take a quick look and see in the state of North Carolina who's going to win the Senate seat in North Carolina. So Spears Angel, tell me in the state of North Carolina, who's going to win the Senate seat in the state of North Carolina? We have the Democrats on the left. We have the Republicans on the right. We have green and yellow that represent the state toss-up Spears Angels for the state of North Carolina here. We have blue is represented for the Democrats and red is represented for the Republicans. Who's going to win the state of North Carolina? Spears Angels for the U.S. Senate seat in North Carolina. Was that a Republican victory? And show me who's going to end up at the victor in the North. And 3 months from now, who's going to be the declared victor in the state of North Carolina Senate seat? Is it going to be Democrat or Republican, red or blue? So there is a challenge here. So what we see here, the state is a sleeper state. So North Carolina is a sleeper state. It's going to be a lot closer than expected. We have the Democrat challenging with an 8, and we have the Republican challenging with a 6. So right now, the Democrats are ahead by 2%, but it is a very close race, which means it's not determined just yet. Who is going to end up at the victor? Who is going to be the party that holds the Senate seat in the state of North Carolina? Will it be a Democrat or Republican? It might even be an independent. Could be why it's not telling me an answer. Okay, the Republican card keeps coming up as a challenge here. We do have the number 2. So we are going to say Republican as of right now, but it's going to be very close. Yeah, it's going to be very close because the Democrats are right behind them, and the Democrats can overtake them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the lean Republican for the Republican for winning the Senate seat in North Carolina, but it can easily go back Democrat if enough Democrats show out and vote in the state of North Carolina. As of now, I'm going to say that North Carolina is still a Republican. All right, we're going to look at the state of Ohio. Let's look at the state of Ohio. Let's see. Okay. So in the state of Ohio here, we have J.D. Vance, the Republican, versus Tim Ryan, the Democrat. Who's going to win the state of Ohio Senate seat? Donald Trump won back here in 2020 and 2016 by 8%. Let's see, will the Democrats change the trends and make Ohio vote Democrat again? The Spears Angels tell me in the state of Ohio for the Senate seat. We have the Democrats on the left, we have the Republicans on the right, and we have green and yellow at toss-ups. We have the Democrats are represented in the color blue, and we have the Republicans represented in the color red. Who's going to win the state of Ohio Senate seat? When it's all said and done, who's going to end up at the victor in the U.S. Senate seat for the Senate seat in Ohio? Okay, Democrat. We're going to say Ohio's going Democrat. So I am going to say that it looks like, what's the guy's name? Hold on. Oopsie. We're going to say that the state of Ohio, Tim Ryan looks like he's going to be the victor in the state of Ohio. So I'm going to say that Ohio is going for Democrat. Okay, in the state of Pennsylvania, we all know it. We all know who it is. Let me see, make sure we're on the screen here. Yeah. We have, wait. All right, that's the governor's race. All right, never mind. We have Chris Van Hollen versus Chris Chaffee, the Republican. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of confusion on the ballot here. No one's going to really know who's who, besides the fact of what party they represent. But yeah, it looks like Chris is projected to hold the seat in. Oh, that's Maryland. Excuse me. Sorry. Okay, in the state of Pennsylvania, we have John Fetterman versus Oz, Dr. Oz. Yeah, I know he's odd. That's why they call him Odds. But anyway, we have John Fetterman versus Dr. Oz. Who's going to win the state of Pennsylvania Senate seat? Is it going to be the Democrats or the Republicans? We're going to find out right now. So, Spears Angel, tell me in the state of Pennsylvania. In the state of Pennsylvania, we have the Democrats on the left, Republicans on the right. We have yellow and green represented a toss-up here. Spears Angel blue is represented for the Democrats and red is represented for the Republicans here. In the state of Pennsylvania, Senate results seat. Who's going to end up winning the state of Pennsylvania Senate seat when it's all said and done within the next 3 or 4 months? Who's going to end up at the victor sitting in Pennsylvania Senate seat? A Democrat or a Republican? Okay, so we have a Democrat upright. So we have a 7 for the Democrats here, John Fetterman. Then we have +4, but wild card, so it's a toss-up. But then we also have the Republican, Dr. Oz, 5 down and 6 down. No, 9 down. So 9 and 5 down. But what it is telling me, though, here, is that the Democrat here is leading. So John Fetterman had the highest probability of winning the seat. Spears Angel, tell me in the state of Pennsylvania, who's going to end up at the sole victor at victory night? Who's going to end up at the victor for Pennsylvania Senate seat? Will we have a Republican or a Democrat sitting in the state of Pennsylvania Senate seat? Who will end up at the victor? And who will end up sitting on that seat and be able to hold it for the next 6 years? Republican. I'm going to say Dr. Oz is going to win the state of Pennsylvania. Now, I don't agree with that personally, but that is what the cards are saying here, and they seem to be showing a lot of red at the end victor, and after all the results are done, Dr. Oz will end up winning the state of Pennsylvania. I think the downfall is going to be the stroke that happened with John Fetterman. Personally, I don't agree with this reading. But for the number, like I said, it's just data that I'm collecting for the final result. Which means this is not going to be the final result. Chances are Pennsylvania is again like a toss-up, but as of right now, it looks like it's going to be pretty good Democrat or pretty good Republican. But again, it's a toss-up. The toss-up card showed up here, which means it can go back Democrat. So it does have a chance of going back. So to hold on to hope. Okay. Plus Republican for Pennsylvania. What we're going to do is we're going to go talk about the state of New Hampshire. I dropped my phone. Oh my god. I turned the lights off so it doesn't end up burning in the background because it is incessant light and I don't want it to start burning when I'm not paying attention. So Spirit Angel tell me in the state of New Hampshire here. We have to show you. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Okay, so in the state of New Hampshire, we have Maggie Hassan versus Donald C. Bolden. I totally did not even pronounce that right. But we have the Democrat versus the Republican in the state of New Hampshire. The Democrats are ahead with 50.9% to the Republican 47.4%, with the Democrats having a 74% chance of winning. We're going to see what the tarot cards say. We'll dispute that or we'll agree with them. We'll find out right now. So Spirit Angel Tommy in the state of New Hampshire Senate seat. We have the Democrats on the left, Republicans on the right. We have green and yellow representing toss-up. We have the blue is representing the Democrats and the red representing the Republicans here. Who can end up as the victor in the New Hampshire Senate seat? Republican or Democrat? When it's all said and done in the next 3 months, who's going to win? Who's going to win New Hampshire Senate seat? Republican or Democrat? Okay. We have Republican down, which is a 6. Okay. Who's the victor in the New Hampshire Senate seat results? Who is going to be holding or will be the new senator? Okay. So we're going to project New Hampshire's going to have a Democrat as a senator. So New Hampshire's voting Democrat, at least in terms of for their senator specifically. Okay. Now, for the state of New York, yes, New York is one of those states that I kept feeling was going to be pretty competitive on the Senate level. We have for the New York, we have Chuck Schumer versus Joe Pinion, the Republican. We have the Democrat versus the Republican here. Chuck Schumer is expected to win by 57.4% to 40.9% for the Republicans here. I do see it being very competitive. Not that competitive where the Democrat might lose, but enough competitiveness that it's going to worry some Democrats going forward that the Republicans are going to do better in New York than expected. So let's see. So Spears Angel, tell me in the state of New York Senate results. Spears Angel, tell me who's going to end up winning in the state of New York Senate results. We have the Democrats on the left, Republicans on the right. We have green and yellow in the middle. At toss-up Spirit, blue is represented for the Democrats and red is represented for the Republicans here. Who is going to win the state of New York Senate seat when it's all said and done? I'm going to say here it's a flip. I'm going to say the Republicans here are going to flip New York, and I feel like Chuck Schumer actually might lose his Senate seat. Now, again, like I said, that this doesn't mean it's going to be outright and say that Chuck Schumer is going to lose. What it is saying here for data, and if you guys have been following my midterm data, this is just for me to collect data, but it's just reading on the energy and how it's going. But I will say here, it does look like to me that the Republicans have a high chance of flipping. But if you pull up the data in the state of New York right now, if you look at New York data here, popular vote, we have 40.9% for the Republicans here. If you add +5, because we do have the 5 card here, if you think about it here, you can do 45.9%. Chuck Schumer could easily still be at 55.4%. So it's still going to be competitive, but not competitive enough that he's going to lose the seat. But for this purpose, for data purposes, we're going to say that he's going to lose the seat, even though he's actually not going to lose. I don't see him losing. I just see a Republican gaining ground. What possibly mean that if they're gaining ground, chances are Kathy Hogan, the current governor of New York, might be in a very competitive race, so much so that Chuck Schumer is going to struggle a little bit in the Senate. Okay. So we're going to put that as plus Republican. Now, we're not projecting a Republican victory in the state of New York. We're just doing it for data purposes. So if you guys watch my other video, you'll know what I'm talking about. So we're going to go back onto your screen here. And we're actually going to put in the data because now we finished all the states that I have put down. So we're going to put the state of Washington. We're going to project that to the Democratic Party. So they're going to hold Washington. For the state of Nevada, we're going to have the first flip of the night. We're going to have that go Republican. So the Republicans are going to flip the state of Nevada in their favor. For the state of Arizona, the Democrats are going to hold that seat. They're going to hold the state of Arizona. So for the state of Iowa, we have a tilt Democrat. It's not projecting a Democratic victory outright, but it is saying that as of right now, the current trajectory, the energy is on the Democratic side, but it's not saying that the Democrats are going to win in here. But for data purposes, we're going to project that the state of Iowa is tilting for Democrat. For the state of Missouri, we have same thing also applies for the state of Missouri. It also tilts Democrat. Like I said, it's not projecting a Democratic victory in the state of Missouri, but it is projecting a competitive race, so much so that it is favoring the Democrats. Does not mean that they're going to win here. Okay, in the state of Wisconsin, we had toss-up, but it tilted Republican. Same reason, and as I said before, the Republicans are ahead in the state of Wisconsin does not mean that the Republicans are going to win outright in the state of Wisconsin, but we're not projecting a Republican victory, but we are saying that if the trend continue energetically, it looks like it's going to be a Republican victory in the state of Wisconsin. So for the state of Illinois, we're going to project the state of Illinois to be in lean Democrat, right? I do see the state becoming very competitive, but not competitive enough where she can lose her seat. So for the state of Georgia, we have a runoff election. So we are going to hold off on that for right now. So the state of Georgia is going to go right into a runoff. So I guess we can't put that into yellow. So we are going to tilt it Republican as that is what the final result is. We're going to project that Herschel Walker is going to flip the state of Georgia back to the Republican Party side. So as of right now, we're currently standing at Democrats 48 Senate seat to the Republican 46. Again, this is a very weird Senate map. I will admit here it is a very weird Senate map. It is not projecting that these people are going to win. It is saying with the current energy going in, this is where it's going right now. Okay, so for the state of North Carolina, we're going to project the Republicans are going to win the state of North Carolina Senate seat. For the state of Ohio, we're projecting the state of Ohio leaning Democrats. So the Democrats are going to win the state of Ohio seat in this hypothetical election map. So in the state of Pennsylvania, we're going to project the state of Pennsylvania is going to lean Republican. When it's all said and done, the Republicans are going to win the state of Pennsylvania. For the state of New Hampshire, we're going to project the Democrats are going to win the state of New Hampshire. When it's all said and done. Lastly but not the least, we are going to project the state of New York going to be won by the Republican Party. So the Republicans are going to carry the state of New York. But only narrowly. Like I said, they're not going to win the state outright, but they're just going to be more competitive. So the energy is on the Republican side here in the state of New York. So the last state of the night, we have the state of Florida. For the state of Florida here, we have Marco Rubio, a tilt Democrat. Not saying that the Democrats are going to win here in the state of North Florida, but as of right now, the current trend projects in terms of energy is on the Democratic side here in the state of Florida. So we can clearly project today in terms of this election results, we have 51 to 49 Senate seats. So we can see here, this is the election map here. If you go to 2023, this is what the map will look like. If this was to occur, will be 51-49 Senate, where Kamala Harris no longer being the tiebreaker in the Senate. Which means they have an additional senator, but not enough that, it will override Kristen Sinema or Joe Manchin. So that is what I see in this video. Again, like I said, guys, it is not projection. For the people who actually have an outright victory, like, the state of Washington.Nevada, Arizona, Illinois, North Carolina, Ohio, and the states that were very faded color of blue or red, I see those states as being tossed up, and they can go either way. But as of right now, again, it's all energy, and this is what it's telling you. Okay, as of the people who voted, this is where the energy is heading right now. Again, that can change on election day. So there's that. I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to give the thumbs up, a like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.